Welcome back to our Global iTech Solution GITS Cypress channel on lecture 5. Before you started this lecture, I highly encourage you to complete previous lecture related to this course. So let's get started and jump on the topics. Today we'll be learning about adding UI test validation, adding API test validation, and finally we'll push our code in the GitHub project. So let's get started where we left on the last lecture. So this is the code, the UI test code we tried to automate on the internet Heroku apps was the link, and we clicked on it. So this is not a validation actually. So let's go ahead, rename our test meaningful name. Let's put them over here. Let's say instead of to do, let's say this is actually we are validating from the home page, right? So let's do that. Click on not click on validate, or you can type links assertion on home page, right? So this is entire home page we are trying to validating. Also on the description, on the describe block, you can type over here also, because we'll be adding more test cases into it. So we can type same thing, links assertion on the home page. This is our describe block. Inside the describe block can have multiple test cases. So validate A/B testing. A/B testing. So validate link contains A/B testing. Okay, this is pretty much, looks good. Now site.get, this is our location, so we can multiply validate dot contains. We can type contains, and we can put AB /B. Let's go to the website. Let's see what it's look like over here on the internet Heroku apps. A/B testing. Okay. You can just copy and paste here. We can do this, one of the assertions, and also we can do, because as this is a links, let's validate href as an attribute, right? Now for this we will be, so most of the things will be remaining same. We'll be just changing over here. Contains instead of contains, we'll be using should. Should. So I already automated this part, and let's go ahead and copy that code. We can do multi verifications on the links, right? Now let's do this. So what I did, site.get, the locator will remaining same, then dot should have attributes href and the value of it, value of href, right? So this is the one way to validate href attribute and the value, and also you can use should href as a separate validation and the value href value. So both are same. This line number 8 and line number 9 are same validation. It's a little bit different way to do it. So this is on a single line, this is on a multiple line, as a multiple verification. So as you see, this is a one verification with the should. Over here there is a two verification, should href and the value of it. Now if I run this test as a UI test, npm run test, before npm doing the npm run test, as I am using the URL inside the test cases, let's go to the package.json file. On the npm test, we'll remove this one as a base URL from here. So let's do it, npm run test. It should be working because we are using directly URL inside the test cases. We're not calling from the base URL, right? So one of the test case pass. This is how the way we are going to be automating the UI automation. and let's do the API automation now. So what we're going to be automated in the API? So we'll be automating the API, which is request response as a mock API. This is a simple API on the website. On the internet, we can automate this list of users, which is in Postman. On the last video with the playwright, I think you guys already saw it if you already followed that. Now on the list of user, you just copy and paste that URL from the website. This one, API user, which is a list of user, it's returning it. You can copy from here, then going back into the Postman, make sure it is working, up and running, right? Click send. Then you'll be seeing on the bottom side, this is the response code, which is a 200, and the value, the JSON payload, response JSON payload over here, right? Now over here, we already talked about the API. There is a submission point, which is until that, resource endpoint, which is an API, then the path query parameter and path parameter. So there is a two type of parameters. So how do you know which one that? So if you see the question mark, there is a query parameter. But if you see there is no question mark, that means that is called a path parameters, right? Now if we go ahead and copy this one and do the implementation here, let's say another file and list of user, get list of user .site.js. So this is our test case. This is the API test case basically, right? Now we'll be just, like I already did the implementations, we'll be just copy and pasting and explaining that, because this is a short video, we have to cover that, right? So on the description, API endpoints assertion, you can type it, because we'll be adding more like the 8 blocks, so many assertions over here. So this is the get request, which is the fetching the data from the database, right? Fetch list of users, fetch or get, that's the same synonyms. Then side.request, so this request came from the Cypress automatically. Method we are using get, URL we are using this, and the fails on status code false. Basically it will not failing, it will failing on the if the status code if not 200. Then as details, which we make as a variable for the entire request, then we call that request as a details, and we're trying to validate it has status code, status, and should equal 200, right? So we can very simple way we can validate this one, but we're not going to be covering that part. This is pretty much pretty simple request, which is a get request. Let's see, it's only validating the status code 200. Let's see it is working or not. Hope it is not complicated. So, but day by day it will be more complicated, right? Because this is the only status code we are validating. So that's when we have a two test case, one of them UI test case, one of them API test case. So we are running on the headless mode, npm run test. Okay, so both tests are passed. Get list of user.site and link assertion homepage. Now let's generate the report, right? npm run report. So which means we already have inside the package.json file the report variable inside the script block. There you go. You have 3 test cases, application validation. So let's go ahead and delete the LU results. We can delete automatically, but for now we'll be deleting manually, and later on we can configure the automation, the automatically deletions. Every time generate the report, it will generate a fresh report. So let's do npm run test one more time and generate the LU results on the left hand side. There you go. So LU result is there. Now do npm run report. So on the report you will be seeing now is a up-to-date test cases, like the two test case, API endpoint assertion. If you clicked on it, expand that, then you will see all the, on the right hand side, all the assertion as a step by step, right? And API, this is the API endpoint assertion, and this is a link assertion, and this is API's fetch list of users. On the right hand side you can see the assertion, actual, expected. For the UI also you are able to see that there is a expected equal A/B test equal href. So this is pretty cool, right? So this Cypress UI automation and the API automation, it comes both are together, combined in the lecture and the videos. If you can follow a single lecture or a single video, that will be covered both. So now let's go ahead and push output, git add, and before pushing, let's push all of them, right? Git commit, or before pushing it, no, let's push today all of them, then we'll add the git ignore file later on. Git commit -m UI and API test cases. Git push. So everything is up to date in GitHub. So if you come back to the GitHub repository and the Cypress E2E video, which is the end-to-end video. Now on this, you'll be seeing all of them over here. Inside the Cypress, you'll be seeing the E2E test. Under the E2E, you will have two test cases, git list of users and link assertion on homepage. Right? Pretty cool. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching this lecture, and stay tuned for upcoming lecture for rest of the course.